My unpaid internship has been terminated. I'm now a teamless individual. Kidding, I found another team. To begin with, let's go back to 3 weeks ago. I was sitting down doing CRM and database work in the hopes that within a few weeks, I would be able to start doing lead generation. Of course, I said yes to everything that was given to me. On top of the data entry work, I was also a traffic director for a Brokers Open, a website reviewer, and a scheduler. My thought process was that I can't get anywhere by saying no. So I may as well say yes to everything. Unfortunately, in this situation, it didn't work out too well. Initially, they were on board with me doing lead gen, but as time passed, they let me go and said they didn't have time to onboard me onto their team. So of course, I thanked them for the opportunity and I had to restart from square one. I started with cold calling again. Fortunately, within a day of cold calling, I was able to find another team that was on board with me going out there and doing lead gen daily. I know it sounds crazy, but these guys were fast and they're willing to guide me through the real estate transaction. So hopefully, within a few days, I'll be able to start. Also, in the description, I've added my updated cold calling script that I used this time. I know it works because within the first day, I already got a few leads. Of course, it's totally free. Aside from that, I'm learning the inventory. During a Brokers Open that I went to, I met some pretty high profile agents. And the key takeaway that was repeated to me was learn the inventory. That means I should know all the homes on the market. So if a buyer or seller is telling me their needs, I already know a few homes off the top of my head that fits their requirements. So for the past couple weeks, I've dedicated a good amount of time to learning all the new listings and some older ones. And by learning, I mean putting a home, its specs, and some notes I have, as well as a link into a spreadsheet. The spreadsheet will be full of homes that I've already learned, so it'll be easy if I ever want to refer back to it. Also, my thought process is that if I keep learning the new listings, eventually I'll learn the whole market. Also, as I referenced in the last video, I'm trying to see as many of these houses in person as possible. Unfortunately, pictures of a home only tell you so much. Most of the time, the home is actually totally different in person. So I'm using the time during Brokers Opens to go see all of these homes. Unfortunately, Brokers Opens only last about 3 hours a week, so I have to try to fit in as many homes as possible into that window. In order to fit it all in, I try to be as efficient as possible. First, what I do is pre-plan my route so I can minimize the amount of time I spend between homes. Then, when going into these homes, I bring a small notebook to note down everything that I think is important or anything that's different than what I expected from the pictures. I try to go through these homes as quickly as possible so that I can maximize the amount of homes I see. From what I noticed, you can realistically hit about 8 homes in one session if the homes are far away from each other. If you get lucky and some are really close, you can probably hit about 9 to 10. Also, a side note, if you're doing this in West Hollywood, I would try your best to put any house on the bird streets as the last house you go to. This is because the roads there are terrible and there's always construction going on. Some of the streets can only fit one direction of cars at a time, so you waste a ton of time backing out or waiting for somebody to come through because of traffic. Another thing I would avoid is going to any home priced above 30 million. This is due to a couple reasons. First, these homes take forever to go through because they're so big, and there's kind of a lot that needs to be noted. The second reason is because everyone and their mother shows up to see these homes. For whatever reason, whenever these homes are held open, there's hundreds of people lining up to see and take photos of them. This causes traffic in the area next to the home to go through the roof, and the already bad parking situation in Beverly Hills gets 100 times worse, ending up costing you a ton of wasted time. Unless you have an active buyer looking for those types of homes, I would avoid it for time reasons. Aside from the tribulations of Brokers Opens, I found out about a tactic that'll help cut my video production time into half. It's pretty simple, and I can't believe I didn't think about it before. But I call it cross-platform posting. Up to about a few weeks ago, I would have 2 separate videos for different platforms. By that, I mean one short I made would specifically go to YouTube and one would specifically go to Instagram and TikTok. Once I posted a video there, I wouldn't touch it because I wanted the platforms to have separate content. But then I realized after seeing Alex Hormozi's channel that after about a month, I can post the same short from YouTube on to Instagram and TikTok. and vice versa. That way it's still brand new for each respective platform, and I get to maximize the effort it took to make the short by posting it twice. This single thing will save me hours of my life. So that's pretty good. These past few weeks, I've accomplished my objectives of learning the inventory and doing my best work. But for the coming few weeks, I want to get started on generating leads and on learning the skill of sales.